Hey there and welcome. We're going to dive into something pretty cool today, how generative AI can be like a co-pilot for your fundraising. We're talking about a tool that helps community organizations really connect with their supporters and, supercharge their mission. Let's dig in and see how this can work for you.
So, just so you know where all this great info is coming from, everything we're covering today is straight out of Chapter 4 of the tutorial, Generative AI for Community Organizations. It's a public service from the folks over at Virtualization Options LLC.
Okay, so if you're in fundraising, does this sound familiar? You've got this mission to connect with every single donor on a personal level, right? But you only have time for a few. It's that constant pressure. And the reality is, you're stretched so thin. Limited time, limited resources. It's that classic problem. How do you get personal when you have to operate at scale?
All right, so here's our game plan. We'll kick things off with that big fundraiser's dilemma. Then, we'll jump into how AI can help you craft personalized asks, act as your grant writing assistant, and even develop whole campaigns. We'll also touch on keeping donors engaged. And stick around, because we're going to wrap up with the one golden rule you absolutely cannot forget.
Right, so let's get into the heart of it, the fundraiser's dilemma. Fundraising. At its core, it's about relationships, isn't it? It's not just about transactions. Your donors want to feel seen, they want to feel valued, but how on earth are you supposed to write a truly personal note to hundreds of people when you're also juggling grant deadlines and trying to plan the next big campaign? It feels almost impossible.
And this is where AI comes in. Think of it not as a replacement for you, but as your co-pilot, your assistant. It's here to do the heavy lifting, all that content creation. And what does that do? It gives you back the time. Time for the stuff that truly matters, the human connection, the things only you can do, building those real relationships, making those personal phone calls, having the face-to-face meetings that make all the difference. Okay, let's get practical. First up, crafting personalized asks. We're talking about using AI for your day-to-day donor communications. Honestly, this is where you can see an immediate impact, just by speeding up your writing.
You know, the secret sauce to getting great stuff out of AI is giving it a great prompt. Look at this example. It's not just write a thank you email. No way. It's super specific. It tells the AI who it's for, a first-time donor, what program they supported, youth mentoring, and the goal, thank them, explain the impact, and invite them to an open house. You're basically giving it a perfect recipe to follow. And when you do that, when you give it that level of detail, look what you get back. The AI spits out a draft that really gets it. It explains the impact, it feels personal and welcoming, it invites them to do more, and it nails that inspiring, grateful tone. Now, is it the final perfect email? Maybe not. But it's like 90% of the way there, and it took you seconds, not a whole afternoon. All right, let's move on to the big one, your grant writing assistant. Seriously, if you've ever stared at a blank screen trying to start a grant proposal, you know that feeling. It can be a huge time suck. But this is another area where AI can be an absolutely incredible partner.
Check out this prompt. You're not just asking it to write something, you're asking it to be your strategist. Help me create a detailed outline. You're feeding it the core idea, a computer lab for seniors, and the key outcomes, digital literacy, reducing isolation. It's a fantastic way to shatter writer's block and get a solid, logical structure right from the get-go.
And the help doesn't just stop with the outline. Oh no. You can use AI to create detailed proposals, draft those really compelling needs statements. You can even feed it a paragraph you've already written and say, hey, make this stronger. Or, my favorite, get rid of all the jargon here and make it easy to understand. So it's not just a starting tool, it's a partner for the entire writing journey.
Okay, let's zoom out a bit. We've talked about individual emails and grants, but what about the whole shebang? Developing full-blown fundraising campaigns. From that very first brainstorming idea all the way to the final thank you, AI can be right there with you. Yeah, look at this. This lays out the entire campaign lifecycle. You can literally ask an AI, brainstorm some catchy names for my campaign. Then move on to messaging strategy. Ask it to help you craft different messages for different donor groups. Then you can get it to draft the actual content for emails, social media, whatever you need. It can even help you map out a timeline and, super important, a plan for how you're going to thank everyone and keep them engaged afterwards. And that last point is so key, it gets its own section. Keeping donors engaged. This is all about stewardship and retention. Some would say this is the most important part of fundraising. Keeping the donors you already have happy, informed, and feeling appreciated, that's the secret to long-term success. And yeah, AI can help make that communication both consistent and meaningful.
I love this comparison because it makes the point so clearly. On the left, you've got the generic, thank you for your donation. I mean, it's okay, but it's totally forgettable, right? But look at the right. This is an AI-assisted thank you where you've given it context, like this is for a donor who has given 3 times this year. It specifically acknowledges their history. That little detail makes a donor feel seen. It makes them feel valued. That is how you build loyalty.
And this really gets to the core of it all. The goal isn't to automate relationships, and that's not what this is about. It's to create more time to build them. The AI handles the routine stuff. It drafts the email, so you can use that hour you just saved to pick up the phone and actually talk to someone. It's a tool to free you up for the human stuff.
Okay, we've talked about all the amazing things AI can do, but now we have to talk about something that is, without a doubt, the most critical piece of this entire conversation, and that is responsibility. The golden rule.
Because when you're using AI in fundraising, the trust your donors have in you is on the line. And there is one rule that is absolutely non-negotiable, unbreakable. And here it is. You never use real donor data. I'm going to say that again. Never, ever put real, sensitive donor information into a public AI tool. No names, no addresses, no gift amounts, no personal stories, nothing. That data is sacred, it's private, and your #1 job is to protect it. End of story.
So you're probably thinking, okay, but how do I get a personalized draft without using personal data? Simple. You use placeholder data. It means you use generic, anonymized info. So instead of saying, write a thank you to Jane Doe for her $100 gift, you say, write a thank you to a returning donor who just increased their annual gift. See the difference? You're giving the AI the context it needs to write something great without ever risking a real person's privacy.
This quote from the source material just says it all, doesn't it? Your reputation and donor trust are far too valuable to risk. I mean, that trust is everything. It's your organization's most valuable asset. It takes years to build and can be destroyed in a second. So protecting it has to be priority #1 always.
So I'll leave you with this thought to chew on. How will you use AI to free up your time? Because when you use it the right way, when you use it responsibly, it's not about replacing the human touch. It's about making more room for it. So think about it. How can you use this copilot to take care of the routine stuff so you can get back to focusing on what really matters, the human connections that power your cause?